We've got breaking news out of the NBA where Kevin Durant is headed to the Houston Rockets. That's according to ESPN.
Massive trade happening in the NBA right now. The Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis.
Shams Charania reporting that Jimmy Butler is on his way to the Golden State Warriors.
This deal materialized in the shadows.
Remember when NBA trades were as simple as swapping players? Those days are long gone. A single trade can shake up the entire NBA, turning championship contenders into bottom feeders and underdogs into instant title threats. But behind every blockbuster deal, there's a web of rules, player demands, and financial gymnastics that make trades more complicated than ever. Why did the Lakers trade for Mark Williams fall apart at the last second? How did the Knicks pull off a loophole move to land Karl Anthony Towns? And what made the Luka Doncic-Anthony Davis swap one of the most shocking trades in NBA history? This isn't just about trading players, it's about power, strategy, and a constant battle between teams trying to outmaneuver each other. If you think NBA trades are simple, think again. Today, we're breaking down why trading in the NBA has become a near impossible chess match, where one wrong move can cost a franchise years of success. If NBA trades were easy, we'd see superstars swapping teams every other week. But in reality, pulling off a deal in today's league is like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Salary cap restrictions, luxury tax penalties, contract structures, and player demands all collide to make trades more complicated than ever before. Gone are the days when teams could just send one player for another and call it a day. Now, every trade is a high-stakes financial and strategic battle. Let's not forget the rise of player empowerment. Superstars don't just get traded anymore, they decide where they're going. This isn't just about basketball, it's about money, power, and the never-ending chess game of building a championship roster. And when things go wrong, we get failed trades, broken deals, and front office chaos. Up next, we're diving into one of the wildest failed trades in recent history, where the Lakers thought they were getting their next big piece, only to have the deal explode in their face. NBA trades can take weeks, sometimes even months, to negotiate. But the scariest part, even after teams agree, a deal isn't official until every single box is checked. Just look at what happened to the Los Angeles Lakers in 2025. They were this close to landing Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets, a young, athletic big man who could have given them the defensive anchor they desperately needed. The paperwork was nearly done, fans were celebrating, and analysts were already breaking down how he'd fit in the lineup. And then, boom, the trade collapsed in an instant. The reason? Medical red flags. The Lakers' doctors flagged something in Williams' health report, and suddenly, the deal was off the table. Just like that, the Lakers were back to square one, scrambling for a backup plan while fans were left furious, wondering what really went wrong behind the scenes. Who could forget the most infamous veto in NBA history, the Chris Paul to the Lakers deal in 2011? The trade was literally approved by the teams, sending CP3 to play alongside Kobe Bryant in what could have been one of the most dangerous duos ever. The Lakers had it locked in, fans were buzzing, and then, out of nowhere, the NBA stepped in and shut it down. Why? Because back then, the league actually owned the New Orleans Hornets and claimed the deal wasn't in the best interest of the league. Instead, these failed trades aren't just frustrating, they change NBA history. Imagine if CP3 had joined Kobe back then. Imagine if Mark Williams had landed in LA in 2025. Would we be talking about multiple championships instead of what could have been? That's the crazy part about trades. One signature, one small decision, or one failed medical exam can reshape the future of the entire league. And when trades do go through, they can send shockwaves through the NBA overnight. Up next, we break down one of the most shocking superstar swaps of all time, the Luka Doncic-Anthony Davis blockbuster that had players, analysts, and fans in absolute disbelief. Some trades make sense, some trades feel inevitable, and then there are the trades that hit like an earthquake, shaking the entire NBA. leaving fans speechless and forcing teams to scramble for answers. That's exactly what happened when Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody thought the Mavericks would ever let go of their franchise superstar. And yet, in one stunning move, Doncic was heading to Hollywood while AD was sent to Dallas in a deal that instantly became one of the biggest trades in NBA history. But here's the real question. Who really won this trade? Did the Lakers just form the most dangerous offensive duo in the league with LeBron and Luka? Or did the Mavericks finally build a complete, well-balanced roster around Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis? Fans and analysts were completely split. Some called it a desperate move by the Mavericks. Others thought the Lakers just mortgaged their future for a short-term championship window. But that's the beauty of blockbuster trades. You never know how they'll play out until the season unfolds. And Luka for AD wasn't the only shocker. The Knicks pulled off their own mind-blowing trade when they landed Karl Anthony Towns in a deal that nobody saw coming. But this wasn't just a normal trade. New York used a salary cap loophole that had rival front offices furious. How did they do it? Why was it controversial? And what does it say about how NBA teams are bending the rules to stay competitive? Up next, we're diving into how the Knicks pulled off one of the most questionable trades of the year and why financial strategy is just as important as talent in today's NBA. If you thought one-on-one trades were complicated, wait until you see what happens when 3, 4, or even 5 teams get involved. Multi-team trades aren't just rare, they're a logistical nightmare, requiring every piece to fall perfectly into place. And in 2025, we saw one of the craziest multi-team trades in recent history, a deal so complex that it took weeks of behind-the-scenes negotiations to make it work. The Milwaukee Bucks, Washington Wizards, and Sacramento Kings pulled off a massive 3-team trade that sent Kyle Kuzma to Milwaukee, Chris Middleton to Washington, and a package of picks and role players to the Kings. Sounds simple? It wasn't. The Bucks had to match salaries, the Wizards needed assets for a rebuild, and the Kings were trying to stay competitive while offloading contracts. One wrong move, and the entire trade would have collapsed. And this is the new reality of NBA trades. Most teams can't make a deal happen on their own. They need a third or fourth team to step in and absorb contracts, shuffle draft picks, or balance out salaries. It's why trades today feel more like chess moves than simple player swaps. And in some cases, these deals can backfire just as easily as they come together. What happens when a team gets stuck with a bad contract? What happens when a player refuses to play for the team he was traded to? The stakes are higher than ever, and one mistake can set a franchise back for years. But trades aren't just about moving players. Sometimes, draft picks become just as valuable, if not more, than star players themselves. And in today's NBA, some teams are stockpiling picks like their currency. Up next, we're breaking down why teams like the Thunder and Celtics are hoarding draft picks, and how those picks could shape the league for the next decade. In today's NBA, draft picks aren't just about selecting young talent, they're weapons in the trade market. Teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and Boston Celtics have mastered the art of stockpiling picks, using them to control the future of the league. But why are these picks so valuable? Because they give teams flexibility, whether to draft the next superstar or flip them for an established all-star. Take OKC, for example. With over a dozen first-round picks in the next few years, they can outbid almost anyone for a star. Meanwhile, teams like the Lakers and Suns have traded away their future for immediate success. So, which strategy actually works? Do you gamble everything for a championship now, or do you play the long game? One thing's for sure, who controls the draft controls the league. And with trades becoming more complicated every year, the NBA is facing a huge question. Are things getting out of control? Up next, we break down what the future of NBA trades looks like, and why some experts think the league might step in to change the rules forever. In recent years, star players have taken more control over their futures. often dictating where they want to be traded and even when deals should or shouldn't happen. The influence of agents and player-driven movements has added another layer of complexity to trades. The 2021 James Harden trade, for example, was heavily influenced by Harden's demand to be traded from the Rockets, despite having years left on his contract. This shift has made negotiations more delicate, as teams are now factoring in not just financial considerations, but also the desires of their top players, making it more difficult for franchises to make moves without the risk of disgruntled stars or public backlash. Additionally, the rise of social media has made players' trade demands louder and more public, adding another dynamic to the already complicated process. So, where is all this complexity leading us? Will NBA trades get even harder to execute, or will the league eventually step in and simplify the process? With teams getting more creative, using salary cap loopholes, and hoarding draft picks like they're gold, the landscape of trading is constantly shifting. Some believe we're heading toward a future where trades will become even more complex, maybe even unrecognizable from today. But one thing's clear, the power balance in the NBA is changing. Superstars are calling the shots. Front offices are getting smarter, and the league itself might just adjust the rules to keep up. So, the next time you see a trade headline, remember, it's more than just a name on a roster. It's a carefully calculated move, years in the making, that could make or break a franchise's future. Do you think the NBA trade rules are good for the league or killing the fun? Let me know in the comments.